I mean, like it was a very, very small race, but like being on a podium with Jim Walmsley at your like first running races, looking back on it, it was like super fun and just getting to like chat with him and hang out with him after. Like again, like you don't see that in any other sport. And I think it's like such a foundational reason why like I'm so jazzed on this sport. Because I don't feel like I'm the fastest guy or the fittest guy. Like more technical downhill stuff is definitely where I think I shine a little bit more. Climbs are not kind to me. So yeah, I mean like that's why I think Black Canyon is a race that like excites me so much. Like it's not the most technical race, but I also think people underestimate how technical it is. Like I just like I have like a four-piece pole, stick it in a vest and run up to a lake, do some fishing for an hour or two and then run back down. Which is just like such a blast and such a way to like break up like the like monotony of training sometimes.
All right, welcome back, everyone. It is our Meet the Team podcast, and we're your hosts. I'm Heidi Allen.
And I'm Bryce Brooks.
And we have Emilio on here with us today. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on, guys. I'm super stoked.
Yeah. You asked actually if you could be part of the podcast sometime, which is awesome. You've kind of got some races coming up on your schedule. You've been battling with some injuries. Do you want to kind of give us a rundown on what this year has been looking like for you?
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster. So, kind of when we were chatting last week, kind of talking about what races I had coming up, I'm just kind of excited to be out there in general. And so, yeah, I was getting ready for Black Cane 50K at the beginning of the year, and literally January 1st, I got smacked with some pretty bad IT band syndrome, which was my second year in a row getting it, training for the exact same race, just on the other knee. Um, so yeah, and I just like I thought like okay, like I've had this injury before, like it's not going to be a big deal to kind of figure it out again, but like all the PT in the world just like didn't really do much for it. And then I want to say it was about 2 months, 2-ish months ago, maybe a month and a half ago. So literally like a good like 6, 7 months after the injury, I saw an acupuncturist that a lot of people have referred me to that actually found out about it at our team summit from fellow teammate Matthew Vera.
Mm.
And literally next day I could run, no problem.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, it was super wild. So, and then like I had a couple like tiny little injuries right after that that popped up, but yeah, like last I want to say like 3 or 4 weeks, I've like finally been able to get like some consistent training in, and for like one reason or another, whether it was like issues in my personal life or injury, like just haven't really been able to pull together some like really consistent blocks, like pretty much since I started running. So I'm just like feeling super, super motivated and super excited right now to like start pushing the envelope a little bit in the next couple of races.
How was that injury affecting your running? Like, were you able to get out on training runs at all, or was it like a strict no running?
It was pretty much like no running. I could run for about 10 minutes. Well, like for the first couple months, I was like, okay, let me see what I can do. And I was like, uphill running on a treadmill doesn't feel terrible. Like I'll try doing that. But after like, yeah, like 15 minutes of running, like just immediately like hobbling, couldn't run anymore. So, yeah, it was a super, super bizarre injury that just like basically completely restricted. Um, so I had to like kind of start try to find other things to do. I'm not a huge fan of the bike, um, but I like tried getting on it a little bit. So I think I was able to maintain like some level of fitness like throughout it, but I'm definitely like working my way back up right now for sure.
When you're training for Black Canyon, are you doing like more focus on like downhill intensity, downhill stimulus? Do you think that might be correlated to the hamstring, doing more like fast descents?
Yeah, I do a little bit. I also think like I was getting a little bit lazy like here in Boulder in the wintertime and just like hitting the treadmill a lot. We had like some pretty big storms in like December and So I was just like, whatever, I'm just gonna run on the treadmill. And I did that the year before too. So I think like that kind of just like repetitive motion intensity really kind of did a number on my T band.
Yeah, totally. And that's kind of like another transition that I wanted to touch on is that, or your transition to Boulder from Tucson.
Yeah,
You've been in Boulder for 2 years now.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
What's
So go ahead.
Yeah, how's that transition been?
It's like it's day and night for sure. So, I grew up in Tucson, but then I went to college in Durango, out in Southwest Colorado, and then moved back to Tucson after college, theoretically to go to law school, um, and then decided not to, like right before I was supposed to start. But yeah, like Tucson's pretty much where I learned how to trail run after college, and learn how to run, period. Um, I met Charlie Ware, who was
Yeah.
a former Aravaipa runner, like super like top 10 Western States guy, just like such a legend in Tucson. And I just like hit him up one day, and I was like, "Hey man, like I've heard about you, like I'd love to go out for a run sometime." And he was like, "Yeah, like come join me on this workout." Which like for any other sport is such like a wild thing to do, to like hit up like the best guy in your area, and like you like I had been running for like a few months at that point, and he was like, "Yeah, come out, like let's see what all this is about." And
That is so
he just gave
cool.
me like yeah he just gave me like so much motivation, to like I was literally like running with him for like his Western States build, like right as like an introduction to trail and ultra running. And so I was like, this is super sick, this is definitely something I want to be a part of. The Tucson trail community is so cool. Like it's such a tight knit little community. You got a lot of crushers out there, like a lot of former Aravaipa guys, like Stein Lupowitz, Catlo Shipek. Um, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting a couple other people. Andrew Bellis. Um, but sorry, not Andrew Bellis. You know, I'm thinking of.
Uh, yeah.
Am
What?
I?
Well,
Is
Matt's in Flagstaff. Andrew
Matt's in
is in.
Flagstaff? Okay, it is
Yeah,
Andrew.
yeah,
Yeah, geez,
yeah.
it's been a minute. Anyway, um, and yeah, like the trails in Tucson like are I think so underrated, and like there's so many of them. It's like super rocky, super technical, but super fun. The only issue is like in the summer it's impossible to train unless you're like a super. I mean, yeah, you guys know you're from Phoenix, but I just like I couldn't do it. Like I wasn't a morning person. I was definitely doing like runs that were ending at like 11 p.m. Um,
Yep.
it was just like it was awesome, but I like definitely. I mean, like there was a handful of reasons I wanted to move up to Boulder, but for sure one of them was like, okay, I'd like to take this to the next level, and I didn't really think that I could do that in Tucson. Um, so I had some family up in Boulder, and I like heard so much about it, and yeah, so moving up here, it was just like yeah, and like Tucson, you're like regular sized fish in a really small pond. Here, you're the tiniest little fish in the biggest pond in the world. um, it's like it's nuts. Like I remember my like literally the very first run I went on Boulder when I moved here. I just like went on the river path and like ran past like Joe Klecker and like Helen O'Beary. And it's like that every single day here. You're always going to see someone on the trails who's just like a top tier crusher. Um, so like it keeps you super
I've
humble.
heard,
Go
oh,
ahead.
sorry. I was just
No,
gonna
no, go
say, I
ahead.
have a question about that. I've heard like pros and cons to that
Hmm.
very reason of living in Boulder. Some people really like, you know, seeing all the competition and competitiveness out there, and other people wish it like wasn't so saturated, I guess. Where do you feel like you fall on that scale?
I don't know. I think it's fun. I think as long as like you keep a good attitude about it and don't like let the noise get to you, and like because yeah, there are definitely like some big egos out here, like in every discipline, like whether it's like tri or road runners or even trail runners. I don't know. I think like as long as like you like find your people and you have fun with it, yeah, I don't think it affects me too much. And like I just try to kind of take the positive from it. Like you look at a Strava segment in Boulder and it's it's nuts. Like it's
Yep.
absolutely nuts. And like that can be intimidating, or that can be like really motivating. And I just try to look at it as like a motivating thing.
It's motivating. Yeah. No, I mean, I was just in Flagstaff last week and we're like, oh yeah, I wonder who has this segment. And Jim Walmsley,
Yep,
pretty much
every
everyone
single
out
one.
there.
Yep,
So,
yeah, yeah.
so yeah, I get that. Well, it sounds like you've been liking Boulder then. Was your first race we have as the Stampede Trail Run, was that after you'd moved to Boulder or was that when you were living in Durango?
Yeah, speaking of Jim Walmsley, so I was still living in Tucson at that point. I had been running for like, I don't know, like 6 months. And I just like went down the YouTube rabbit hole. I kind of like learned everything about trail and ultra running. And obviously like 2020 Jim Walmsley was like the guy. And so I was like following him and he was like, "Oh, like I'm running this like tiny little race in Durango." And obviously like I went to college in Durango, so I was like, "Cool, it'd be like fun to go visit some friends and like run this 10K with Jim Walmsley. Like that sounds awesome." And so yeah, that was like I think my very first running race since like middle school, probably.
Dang.
Wow.
And I mean, like it was a very, very small race, but like being on a podium with Jim Walmsley at your like first running races, looking back on it, it was like super fun and just getting to like chat with him and hang out with him after. Like again, like you don't see that in any other sport. And I think it's like such a foundational reason why like I'm so jazzed on this sport.
Were you pretty much hooked after that race?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think I was like hooked before that race, but after that, like I ran Silverton Alpine Marathon that same summer,
For the
and
first
like
time, right?
yeah, that's right, for the first time. And it just like destroyed me. That was like my first marathon, and yeah, I just like after I think it was like after that that I was like, this is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Like, and yeah, it just made me want to put a lot more effort into it.
Dude, so I drove it a good chunk of the Silverton Alpine Loop for the first time this year. I
Yeah,
didn't realize how technical it is because you hear
yeah,
dirt road and
yeah.
you imagine smooth kind of gravel pack, but
Hmm.
no, dude, that is technical out there.
No, that descent once you get to the top of California Pass, like is it's technical, and if you're not paying attention, like it is not like a road marathon where you can just like coast as fast as you want. Like you definitely have to watch your footing. Um, I see people where like they're like, oh yeah, you can wear road shoes to that race, and I'm like, no chance. Like that's and they always regret like it's fine for like the first and the last, I don't know, 8-ish miles, but that middle section, like if you're wearing like a carbon plated road shoe, like I know people that have had massive problems trying to do that on that course.
For sure. And
Yeah.
then, so you went back to the same race again in 2024. Was it 2 years later? And can you talk about like
Maybe 3 years
3 year
later.
gap?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's the difference in experience? Like you shaved off
An
what,
hour.
over an hour?
Yeah, over.
Over an
Yeah.
hour,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Yeah. That was my goal, was to shave off an hour. I just like I thought it'd be such a blast to like 3 years later, being on the Aravaipa team and going back to that race, in like a town that I spent a lot of time in college. Um, I just thought it'd be like a really fun way to kind of uh, like test my fitness that summer and yeah, just have some fun, see some friends, and like really kind of just like yeah, like validate myself that like okay, like you've come a long way in the last couple years. And yeah, I got to run it with like my training partner here in Boulder, a guy named Daniel Finger, and like we basically ran like step for step the whole race.
Oh, I didn't know you guys are friends. I remember
Yeah.
you and somebody else were like neck and neck for the whole thing.
Yep. Yeah. 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 No, like we run together pretty much every single week.
Super cool.
Yeah, good friend of mine. So like we kind of like had the idea that like we were gonna, for the most part, like try to push each other and run together for the whole race. And we did, I think he dropped me a little bit like at the top of the climb and then I caught back to him at the descent. So I think there's maybe like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes we weren't together. But then I just remember like that last like flat section as you're coming into town is just like it truly starts to turn into like a road race at that point. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like I remember like we just started like conversation really dropped off and we were starting to really like feel it. I started to cramp and then he would start to cramp and then like you have like about a K left and you like kind of like crest over this hill and you're looking into town and I was like, all right, let's just see if I can put a move on him. So I put a little bit of a surge on, and I was like, cool, like I got him, he's done. And I look, and then like I'm coasting into town, and I hear something behind me, and it's him like riding on my ass again. So I look back and I'm like, God damn it. So I had to put another little surge on, and like I think we came in within like I think it was like under 10 seconds of each other.
Yep, I remember that.
But yeah, that like that race is so much fun to me. Like I don't think it necessarily suits like my strengths, but like I love the San Juans. I have for like a really, really long time. And it's just like a really fun way for me to get out there.
So what would you say are your strengths in trail running?
I would say just like because I don't feel like I'm the fastest guy or the fittest guy, like more technical downhill stuff is definitely where I think I shine a little bit more. Climbs are not kind to me. Um, so yeah, I mean, like that's why I think Black Canyon is a race that like excites me so much. Like it's not the most technical race, but I also think people underestimate how technical it is.
We had
And
a
it's like,
lot of people,
Yeah.
and he lives here.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, we had a lot of
yeah,
people saying that it was more technical than they thought, and
for
it's,
sure.
net downhill. So that definitely is a
Yeah.
race right up your
No,
alley.
that Sonoran Desert like chunkiness is like if you've never been on it, it's like surprising how much you got to pay attention to it. And like I said, like those are the trails that like I learned how to run on. So I just
Right.
feel like super comfortable with that type of terrain. And so yeah, I'm super stoked to like hopefully finally get out there.
Do you have like a time goal or anything for Black Canyon? I know you have Rock Hawk coming up in at the end of August as kind of like a tune up to see how you're feeling after your
Hmm.
injury.
Yeah,
But what are
exactly.
your goals for Black Canyon?
I'm trying not to look too far ahead right now. I don't know. I don't know if I have a time goal necessarily. Like my main goal, honestly, like that'll be my longest distance. So honestly, like my main goal is to just like go out there, have fun, enjoy the chaos that race is, and finish 100K. Um, but I've got a couple other goals in the back of my head. I mean, I don't think I'm shooting for a golden ticket or anything like that, but um, a top 10 finish would be sweet. But
Yeah.
uh, yeah,
It's crazy. Black Canyon now, like a top 10 finish is legit.
yeah,
Like it didn't,
exactly,
like
yeah.
5 years ago, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, and there's
Um,
probably like 60 guys, 70 guys going for a top 10 finish.
Yeah.
so you ran one result on your ultrasound that like stands out to me was Mammoth last year, as far as like probably the steepest and just like most amount of vert in an ultra that you've done. Kind of speak to that experience. How did that play out for you? I know you're legit on the technical downhill. I went out and I maybe sniped a couple of your segments last time I was in Tucson, or tried to anyway,
Love
and
it.
did not touch the downhill one. So yeah, how did Mammoth play out for you? Because like top 5 in that race is like another really legit result.
Yeah, I think the main reason I wanted to go to that race was one, like travel to a race that was a little bit more of a high profile race. Tim Tollefson puts on like such an awesome event out there. Um, and it was like like the obviously the 50K isn't a golden trail distance, but the distance below was a golden trail race. So like I just yeah, like similar kind of thing to Black Canyon. I just kind of want to go out there and like see how I could shake it up with some bigger names and just get that like bigger race vibe. Yeah, it went out so hot. It was crazy. Like it's like a slight uphill on a bike path, and I think everyone was doing like 6:15s. Um, and there's a climb between, I want to say it's like mile 17 and 19. It's like 2 or 3 miles with like 3K of vert. It's brutal. And I remember getting to the top of that climb, like again, like climbing is not my strong suit, and like my legs were like completely locked up, like my calves, my hamstrings, like yeah, I was pretty spent already, like halfway through the race. So like honestly I wasn't really able to like take advantage of the downhill as much as I would like to. I was honestly mostly just holding on for like 15 miles and
Was
like
there was there much like change in the placement of that race? Like, were you picking people off towards the end, or kind of on an
I
island?
think I stayed in fifth literally the entire race. I think like the two guys in front of me and behind me switched. Um, but I like most ultras I've run, it's been like I've been either I've like done a lot of chasing in most of my races, which like I like absolutely love running someone's down on their heels. Um, but this was just like holding on for dear life, honestly, like the majority of the race. So
Well,
I mean,
apparently,
I
like,
was
you weren't
super,
the only
yeah,
one.
yeah, no, I know I wasn't. And like people kept telling me like, oh, like Cole Watson's like 2 minutes ahead of you, you can nab him, and I'm just like, no chance, dude. Like I'm worried about the guy behind me.
Yeah.
Running
So
scared.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel that.
And then that was the last race you had before the hamstring issue came up, correct?
Yeah,
And
I went out and ran the like Moab Trail Half National Championship, but that was kind of more
oh
just
yeah,
for fun. I had a bunch of friends going out there, and that's not really a distance I do super well at, and I was like really
sure.
sick and injured like the weeks before that. But yeah, like that's pretty much like the last like real race I've had.
I wanted to talk about maybe some of the hobbies or things you're doing in like during your downtime.
Mhm.
One of them, well, one being skateboarding. I know you're like you have a background in skating, and I'm also curious to see like how you think that impacted your like trail running style. Do you think that helps you like on the downhill? Because all the skaters I know that are now in trail running are like exceptional downhillers. Do you think there's like a connection there?
Uh, 1,000,000%. Yeah. That's funny. Like I don't feel like I know. I mean, I know there like are lots of skateboarders that have transitioned to trail running. Like I think like there's a million reasons why, but um, yeah, I think like just like one like that level of commitment you have to learn skateboarding. Of just like you might get hurt, but you still got to like put everything into, or like you have to put everything into it and all your focus into it. Otherwise, like you will for sure get hurt. Is like a big thing with downhill running. Also
Definitely.
just like the like just like the technical motor skills, I think like are super, super translatable. Like having to run out of falling from skateboarding, like is pretty much just like all you're doing. Trail running is just like falling downhill. Um, so yeah, I mean like um, yeah, I think like that for sure is like one of the big reasons why I'm a little bit of a better downhill runner.
You probably have to have a quick reaction time in skateboarding, and I can see how that would play into trail running a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, your other hobby is fly fishing, and I'm curious, have you seen those fly fishing races where you like run and then you have to go fly fish, catch a fish, and then like run back to the finish line?
Yeah, I actually just had I was just hanging out with a friend of mine who had just done one and was definitely trying to convince me to do them. Those sound so awesome. Like yeah, they're called flyathlons. I for sure want to jump into one. I only started fly fishing, like I fly fished a little bit in college, but I only started like really starting it again this summer. Again, like because I was injured and like I just had to find something else to do that like I also didn't want to like replace like running with something that was like I don't know equally as intense or like because like I feel like that's kind of what I did like when I stopped skateboarding as much and like went to running, like it was just like I had to like replace, I don't know, like I was by no means that good of a skateboarder, but like I just like I don't know how to explain it, but like I needed to like replace that type of intensity with something else
Yep.
like kind
Yep.
of equally as intense. And so when I got injured, I was like, okay, like let's not do that and just like try to do something a bit more relaxed that kind of just makes me happy. And so yeah, I started fly fishing a little bit more, and it was also like a good way to like get on trails and like get out into the mountains without like having to run. I also am not a fan of hiking, so like if I'm gonna hike, I'd rather like be doing it with a purpose, right? Um, so yeah, I like those flyathlons sound like such a blast. So basically, like I think the way most of them work is like I think there's a course. Honestly, like I don't really know exactly how like the course works, but like every inch of fish you catch, it takes like a minute or so off your time.
Oh,
Oh.
nice.
Yeah, I think that's like how most of them work. Um, and like yeah, like that's honestly like I try to at least like once a week do like a fly like a run fish like yesterday. Like I just like I have like a 4-piece pole, stick it in a vest, and run up to a lake, do some fishing for an hour or two, and then run back down. Which is just like such a blast and such a way to like break up like the like monotony of training sometimes. So yeah, like that's for sure something I wanna put on the calendar someday.
Yeah.
How did you get into it? Do you have is there somebody who's kind of showed you the rope? Because I just feel like it's such a non-intuitive thing, like fly fishing, like very different than normal fishing. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got some friends from college who are like super badass fly fishers. Like they are like really good guides, like till this day, like have started their own companies and stuff.
Cool.
And so I like yeah, I originally learned how to fly fish in college from those guys. So I got like kind of the basics down. And then I kind of just like hit one of those friends up this summer while I was in Durango, and I was like, "Hey man, like I'm trying to get back into this." And he was like, "Cool, here's a rod and a reel, get after it." Um, and it was definitely like just a lot of like lots like there's a fly shop down the street from my house, and just like lots of trips there, just like trying to get as much info from those guys as possible. But it's a lot of trial by fire and just like lots of mistakes, lots of screaming at trees trying to steal my flies.
Just alone in the woods.
Yeah. um, but yeah, I mean, like, there's, yeah, I would say for the most part, like, I've kind of just had to figure out myself. Um, but I'm for sure still figuring it out. By no means would I call myself like a good angler.
Do you see yourself integrating your fly fish runs more into your training, like when as you start ramping up your training for Black Canyon and Rock Hawk coming up?
I think you kind of have to find a balance because I think it's like yesterday I was like, okay, like the priority for this run is like running, and then like I'll just do some fly fishing. But like once you pull your rod out and you start casting, like I look at my watch and like, oh my God, I've been here for an hour and 15 minutes. So like it can be a little distracting, I think, when you're trying to like really train. Um, so like, but it also, yeah, I mean, we're starting to close out summer, and there are definitely like some high alpine lakes that I want to like go
Mm.
fish. Um, so I could see myself doing some longer stuff, like trying to fish, but it's once I bring my reel out, like it's really tough to like focus on the running part.
You know, it's time for fly fishing,
Yeah.
not running.
So Black Canyon being in February, and you living in Boulder, it's got to be a little bit tricky training through the winter months.
hmm
What are some of like the tactics being like a Boulder resident and training hard? Are like the roads generally good enough through the winter to like stay flat on, or is it more of like you're pretty much stuck on a treadmill?
I think Boulder's mild enough that you for sure can get out on the roads. And there are definitely like some trails that you can get out on too. I think my biggest weapon, or at least I don't know, tool in the toolbox going into this training cycle is I'm moving into a place off of Magnolia Road up in Netherlands.
Oh, so
Um,
Oh, Ned.
higher up.
yeah, I'm actually taking Chris Myers's room.
Sweet.
Oh,
So yeah,
that's rad.
like hopefully I just get some good juju from being in that room. But
No kidding.
yeah, um, but I think like honestly like I was having this conversation with one of the guys that lives in that house. He was basically just like, there's not really an excuse here in Boulder to not be able to train through the winter.
Hmm.
It's not like, I don't know, like the Midwest where it's just like frigid cold all the time. Like you definitely get sunny, nice days. It's not snowing all the time, and when it does snow, it melts. So yeah, I mean, I think like kind of just being up in that environment a little bit higher up in the mountains and having a little bit more focus on like getting out there every single morning and making sure that I'm not making excuses to like go down the street from where I live now to a treadmill
Mm.
is going to be a big help for sure.
Do you ski at all?
I
Or
snowboard.
snowboard? Yeah.
Yeah. I hadn't snowboarded for like 5 years until last year. And honestly, like part of the reason I stopped skateboarding and snowboarding was because I was getting hurt so often.
Yep.
Um, it's not like running's that much better, but at least it's not these like super traumatic injuries with like bones in half. So I just yeah, like I definitely want to get a bit more into like splitboarding this season.
I was going to ask
Um,
about that. Yeah.
yeah, that I think that's a bit more conducive to my overall goals. Um, but like also like I just have such a blast on the mountain. I just gotta like not be in the park as much these days, which honestly is like okay with me.
Yeah, that's a cool place. That'll be
Yeah, for
really
sure.
exciting.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm like 15 minutes from Eldora, so it's gonna be hard to not be there every day.
Yeah. That's awesome. We're really excited to see you getting back into racing and hope you can stay injury free. So,
Yeah,
do you
hope
still
so.
go see that acupuncturist, or was it like that was like a one and done thing?
I've seen her a few times since. It kind of like so I saw her one week the first time, and then I saw her like the week after, just kind of flush things out. And then right as I was like, okay, cool, I'm feeling good, let's get back into training, I like twisted my ankle so badly. Like I've twisted a lot of ankles in my days, and just like, but this was like so bad, immediately ballooned up, black and purple, and I was
Mm.
like, this is broken for sure. I went into an X-ray the next morning, and it thankfully wasn't broken. But I like had to take another like 2 weeks off of running, like right after I was like starting to get back into it.
Brutal.
And then like for some reason when I like started running again after that, like my T-band flared up again. So I saw her, yeah, one or two more times. But since then, knock on wood, everything's felt pretty good. So I think it's just like having that consistency is helping.
Nice.
So your next race on the docket is Rock Hawk, and that's
Hmm.
a few weeks away. I think it's maybe.
Yeah, it's like
What are
three.
what are your goals? What are your goals for that race? Is that a
Honestly, I'm kind of just treating it as like a ripping the band-aid off type thing.
hmm
Just like lining up on a start. Like it's literally been almost a year since I lined up at a start line. Um, I'm also just kind of going down there to have fun. My sister just moved down to Castle Rock. My my friend Daniel is running the 50K down there, so I was like whatever. I'll go down and run the 10K. Like sounds fun. So yeah, it's honestly really just to kind of just like knock out the cobwebs and have some fun. And then after that, I'm running the Jackass 31K at
Oh, yeah.
Javelina.
Oh, sweet.
So that'll be a little bit more. Uh, yeah, I definitely want to go for that one a little bit more.
Go
Um,
for Matthew Vera's course record from last
I
year.
know. Yeah, I was supposed to run it last year, and thankfully I didn't because he would have smacked me. But I think he might be running it. I think he's running UTMB or something.
I
Or maybe he's
thought
running Javelina 100.
I thought I saw him on the
He's
roster
been
for
putting
this
in
year.
some crazy vert.
Yeah, no, that dude,
He's
he's
doing
been
the
running
100
like
miler.
Elbert
He's in
like almost every single day.
yeah,
That dude's nuts. I definitely got to get I could definitely got to get up there and do some Elbert laps with him.
Yeah,
Um,
I see that you do a lot of runs with Adam. Do you
mhm.
and the other racing team members out in Colorado do runs a lot?
Not as often as I would like to. Me and Adam have kind of been like trading back and forth injuries. So like when I'm healthy, he's not. When he is, I'm not. So, um, but yeah, I mean, like it's super fun to run with Adam because he has like such a different set of like specialties than I do. Like he's just so fast on roads.
yeah, huh?
It's nuts. Like how good that dude runs on roads and for how long. And yeah, he's just like a really, really cool guy. I love the conversation with him. So yeah, I definitely don't get out as much as I would like to with him. And I definitely like also like with Matthew. He like used to split time between here and the Leadville area, and I think now he mostly lives in the Leadville area. Um, but I also like see she's not on the team anymore, but Jane Mouse, who's had just like such a breakout year, like
Crazy.
insane.
Yep.
She's actually how I got hooked up into this new place that I'm moving into because I just ran into her and she's like, "Yeah, I'm moving out. Do you want to move in?" And I've like done a handful of runs with her too. So there's like it's yeah. I mean like we were kind of talking about at the beginning of this, like there's no lack of motivation here, but like you definitely got to find the right people that are doing like big things because there's a lot of people doing big things, but uh, how do I put this delicately? There's like you got to find the right people to do it with. Um, yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
For sure.
Valid.
When you come out here for Javelina, do you have any plans to go on the Black Canyon course at all, or are you just is it kind of like a business trip?
um, I would maybe like to honestly, like I haven't been down to Tucson since
Oh,
I
yeah,
moved up here, so I'd like to get back out on some trails there. There's a couple routes that I have some unfinished business on that I would maybe like to take a crack at before that race. So um, yeah, I think I'll kind of save any trip down to Black Canyon maybe for I don't know November, December um, to kind of test out those trails. But honestly, like I don't know, maybe this is a bit maybe I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, but like I feel so even it's been a while, I feel so comfortable on those types of trails. Like I think as long as I do heat training well enough, like I'm not too concerned about like yeah, getting to know the course super well. Maybe that's
I
not
don't
a
think
great
so.
thing to say, but
No, I
whatever.
don't think so. You've got so much experience on like very similar terrain. I was looking. I mean, you have segments all over Tucson, dude. It's crazy. That's how like I was planning my runs is like finding Emilio's segments when I was down there. No, I think
I was just telling a friend the other day, like, it's like hilarious. Like we were just talking about this a little before, like here in Boulder, like there's just like no chance. I think I have like maybe like two or three segments in Boulder compared to I don't know like 50 or 60 in Tucson.
just a different ball game.
Yeah, it's completely different.
Sweet. Well, yeah, we're really looking forward to you at Black Canyon, and we'll see you at Javelina this year.
Yeah,
So hit us
yeah,
up
I'm
if you
stoked for
want
it.
to get any runs in. I know that,
Yeah, for sure.
probably more Bryce. He's faster. But
Yeah,
Well, you've got Jigger
uh,
Johnson coming up or something like that, right?
yeah,
That's
in eight
nuts. That's a
days.
crazy
So
race. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
we're
That's
stoked.
awesome.
um, but before we wrap up, we just like to do some like rapid fire questions, just to kind of get to know you better as like a runner on the trails, kind of like what you like to do. So, what's your go-to shoe for a race?
For a race, honestly, it's the Tecton X2.
hmm
I the Tecton X3 is sick, but I don't know. There's something about the two that's just like so much fun. Um, and yeah, I work at a running store, so I'm definitely a running shoe person, and that's a fave for sure.
Is that going to be the move for Black Canyon?
I want to get
It's a
my
little bit,
hands
but
on I want to get my hands on the Rocket Trail that's about to come out.
I
Oh, I'm
knew it.
stoked.
Yep. So I'm saving some codes for that shoe.
I saw a couple folks at Hard Rock rocking those shoes
Yeah.
in like on like 14ers,
That's
super
insane.
technical. Probably,
Yeah, that
but
shoe doesn't make sense to me for something like that, but
that was still drooling, dude.
I feel like that's going to be the big shoe for Black Canyon this year. I've heard a lot
I
of good
think
things
so.
about it.
Yeah.
All right. If you could go on a run with any runner, alive or dead, who would it be?
Oh. I think just because like I just read an article about it. The lead singer for the Sex Pistols ran like the London Marathon in the early 80s, like
Oh,
in the
Satisfied did the
middle.
article, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yep,
So Joe
yep, yep.
Strummer, uh, yeah, the lead singer for the Sex Pistols. I mean, like that's just such a crazy band, and they were like so known for doing crazy shit and partying and all the time. I just like, and he like ran a decent time. I think he ran like 4:20 or 4:30 or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So like, yeah, if I like got to run that race with him, that'd be, I like heard he like maybe popped into a bar for a beer in the middle of the race. That would have been a fun run to go on for sure.
That's solid. Solid.
All right. I've actually never asked this question, but it just popped in my head. What's your most like unhinged running take, if
Oh
you have
no.
one?
Put him on the spot.
I don't feel like I don't know. Man, I honestly like this is a really bad take because like I shouldn't be listening to this take at all, but like obviously training matters on race day, but like I think training doesn't matter as much as like the okay, training matters, but what really matters is like I don't know how where your mind's at on race day. Because you can have like the best training block in the world, and if your heart and soul isn't in it on the start line, like nothing's gonna happen. Um, so yeah, that's maybe my unhinged take.
I feel that.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's too crazy at all. I feel
Yeah.
that. Sweet. I think those are all my questions. Do you have any more you want to ask?
Not off the top of my head. Just stoked you're on the team. It's cool that I remember when you first applied, I thought you were like in Tucson, and then realized you had moved to Colorado. Which is great that it's also a racing team state that we
Yeah,
accept
for sure.
applicants from. But
Yeah.
no, it's cool having the representation. It's having you rep the racing team from out in Boulder, holding it down up there. Yeah, I'm excited to see what you can do this year. I like
Yeah.
that. I also appreciate that you've gone and done like progressively more competitive races as you've like had more running experience, and like I respect it, like putting yourself out there, putting yourself in a position to like throw down with some big dogs. I think it's cool, and I think you're on a good trajectory.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, Aravaipa, like honestly, truly is like very important to my progression in running. Like even before I was on the team, like I said, like learning how to run in Tucson with all like the like OG Aravaipa guys. Like, no, it really does like mean the world to me to be on this team and be a part of so many like badass athletes. So yeah, thank you guys. I love it.
Sweet. Yeah, we love having you. So thanks for being on, and we'll look forward to your racing and see you in Arizona in a month or
Yeah.
two.
Sweet.
So,
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
yeah.
Appreciate you, dude.
Yeah, you too.